NBA legend Pat Riley has been asked twice in the past 20 years what it means to have Heat culture. It's a shared philosophy with the goal of being great. It's our shared goals, shared vision, shared thoughts. See, that first answer was from 2000. That second answer was 2020. The thinking has barely deviated over the past 20 years. Times change, rosters change, but Riley and the culture has pretty much stayed the exact same. Now, to be a player willing to adopt the culture, to be a player willing to learn from the past, to be a player with this mindset takes someone special. The Heat, they are very selective in drafts for a reason, and each pick is made with intention. You may not be the most talented guy on paper, but that has never mattered to Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. What matters is your drive. So on June 22nd, 2023, when the Miami Heat selected a kid from UCLA with the 18th overall pick, this selection wasn't made for the talent, but for the work that was put in from day one.
Jaquez drives. With the hammer!
There's always the one guy in the gym. That's Jaime Jaquez.
My Mexican-American heritage really instilled the hard work ethic in me. I mean, just seeing how hard, my dad worked, as well as my mom, and then my grandparents coming over from Mexico. I mean, it was just really inspiring to see as a young kid. As the oldest sibling in my family, I've tried my best to carve a path for my younger siblings to follow, of how to act right, waking up, being on time, working hard, and, just trying to be the best person you can be every day.
See, from a young age, Jamie Jaquez Jr. has had hoop dreams. He was born and raised in Southern California to Mexican parents that actually played college basketball, and he was immersed in the game from the day that he was born. His dad, Jaime Sr., was extremely hands-on with him as a child. He was Jaime's coach all the way up until high school, and the two would wake up early every single morning, head to 24-hour fitness, and get to work. Being a kid from California, Jaime modeled his game and his attitude around the late, great Kobe Bryant like every other kid did at that time. On those early morning training days, that's where greatness is built. Jaime's dad would always remind him how hard Kobe worked, waking up super early and getting to the gym before anyone else, always having a competitive edge on his opponents. And for Jaime, this was the biggest influence mentally, being instilled with that Mamba mentality from a young age. On top of, playing like his favorite player of all time, Jaime had different dreams. He wanted to represent his Mexican heritage on the big stage. This is a massive portion of his life. As a 10-year-old kid in 2011, Jaime aimed to be the 6th player ever with Mexican descent in the NBA.
Being able to represent my home here in America and my second home down in Mexico, two nations, is kind of cool.
Now, some of this drive and a ton of the credit has to go to his grandfather, Ezekiel. Ezekiel's parents didn't know much about basketball after they emigrated from Mexico to Oxnard, California when his grandfather was just a child. But Ezekiel remembers convincing his father to build them a makeshift rim for he and his brother Dick to practice on. Except when it was built, this was no usual rim. It was less than a foot wide and much smaller than the 18-inch with, regular rim. So when Jaime's grandfather got to go play at a real basketball court, things were just easy. In high school, Ezekiel earned recognition in local papers as one of the first Mexican-American players in the entire area to compete at an elite level. He would go on to play basketball at Ventura Community College and then eventually transferred to Northern Arizona. After that, he became a local high school coach and was a big reason for why Jaime's dad got into the game at such a young age. Basketball simply runs in the Jaquez family.
They've been supporting me since I was a kid and allowed me to follow my dreams. Without them, I wouldn't be here, so I'm really appreciative of all the hard work that they put in.
Now, Jaime began to see big strides in his game from all those early morning training sessions, and by the time he was a freshman at Camarillo High School, he had developed into quite a unique player. He averaged 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and led his team to a 25-7 record. And he would only get better from there. In year 2, he averaged 24 points. He also won county honors, and as a senior, Jaime went out with a bang. He averaged a staggering 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 steals a game to lead his team to a California State title. He earned first team all county honors and finished his career with 2,653 total points. All this success, it helped him earn offers from some of the most prestigious colleges in the entire country, but he turned those all down and opted to stay home and committed to UCLA. As soon as Jaime Jaquez stepped on UCLA's campus, the coaches knew they had a special player on their hands. He is a guy that never missed a practice and would stick around the gym for hours getting shots up, exuding that hardworking mentality that he has from his Mexican heritage built within his father and his grandfather. All those early mornings at 24-Hour Fitness, they were starting to pay off. His hard work resulted in instant playing time as a freshman. He would get in, he'd average just 9 points, but he was there, he was on the court. Things were becoming real, it was getting so close, but he still had a long journey ahead of him. Now, although he was just a freshman, Jaime's excellent play on the court caught the attention of Mexican national team scouts, and he was given the invite to play in the 2019 Pan American Games for Team Mexico. This was a dream come true for Jaime and was a defining, pivotal moment in his young career. He was finally able to take on the dream that his grandfather had and represent Mexico on a grand stage. From there, that momentum would keep rolling right back into UCLA. His next year, his averages again went up, constantly getting better year after year. UCLA would advance all the way to the Final Four, where they would eventually lose to Gonzaga. But this is where things took a turn for Jaime. See, he was dominating hoops, but his sister, Gabriela, was doing the same thing on the women's side. The two, they've always had a tight bond and had been pushing each other to get better from a young age. Gabriela, she credits those one-on-one games with Jaime for her tough mentality and competitive nature. Before Jaime's senior season, Gabriela actually got the opportunity to attend UCLA and follow in her brother's footsteps. And that is where their bond would grow even closer.
It's been tremendous. I'm just so proud of her and her team. I see the hard work that they put in every single day. We share the same facility, so it's easy to cheer, especially when they work so hard.
Jaime would finish with an illustrious UCLA career. After averaging a career best 18 points per game, UCLA would win the Pac-12 and earn a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament.
I think we're just hitting our stride just overall as a team. We're playing, I think, the best basketball that we can play. There's always room to get better. We're going to watch the film from last night and watch these past 2 games to see what we can learn and really just have a good headspace going into March or the rest of March.
Jaime had achieved just about everything that you could for a UCLA player except for that elusive national title, because unfortunately UCLA would lose 2 key contributors in the first round win over UNC Asheville, and in a tournament rematch with their old foe Gonzaga, their run would end in heartbreak.
Jaquez, Nuba, and Campbell. It would have counted had it gone, and Gonzaga survives. They're going to the Elite Eight in a thriller.
Despite the unfortunate ending, Jaime was voted the Pac-12 Player of the Year, becoming the first Bruin to win it since Kevin Love all the way back in 2008. And after a long discussion with his family, it was time. He made a tough decision to leave his sisters behind and forego his eligibility to enter the 2023 NBA draft. 4-year players, they just aren't wanted like they used to be in the NBA. Flashy skill with a young dude who's got a ton of potential seems to be where teams want to go. An older, more established, well-rounded player with a ceiling not as high just isn't as appealing to NBA teams anymore. So when Jaime declared as a 4-year senior, the road to the NBA was going to be a bit more difficult than they thought. If a 4-year player gets picked, they often are sent right to the G League. So what was going to be different with Jaime? I mean, he's definitely not as physically gifted as a lot of these young guys, so what makes him different? Why would a team need to pick him? Well, like his grandfather before him, Jaime was ready for the work, but most importantly, was ready for what it would take to become a star.
With the 18th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Jamie Jaquez Jr. from UCLA.
But he knows how to play, and it's very Miami Heat to draft a player like Jaime Jaquez for his toughness.
Many scouts and critics believe that this pick was actually one of the best fits in the entire draft. The Heat are known for their diamond in the rough guys, and many thought that Jaime would be next in line for that fortune. But one thing remained in question: the Heat culture. Would this system break him, or would he be able to use it to his advantage? Well, as soon as Jaime was drafted, he realized exactly who one of his first contacts in Miami needed to be. He found a way to quickly get in touch with the just retired Heat power forward Udonis Haslem, who had just wrapped up a 20-year career all with the Heat. He has 3 championship rings and appeared in 7 NBA finals. Even with the 41-year-old Haslem hanging up his sneakers, Jaquez knew that he represented the essence of the infamous Heat culture. So he went to him to find out what seems to help Miami stay ruthlessly competitive even amongst roster churn.
You get a chance to talk to anybody on the Heat yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one, UD or Udonis Haslem, man, I reached out to him, let him know he's the OG of Miami Heat, so I felt it was only right for me to reach out to him, let him know I'm excited to be there.
Yeah, he did it
part
right.
of the organization, you know.
Check in. That's
check in. I'm like, you know what, I'm good, yeah.
Now, this would prove to be a great move. because upon arrival, Jaime, he was locked in. And here comes Summer League. Jaime, he was just available for one game due to a shoulder injury, but he definitely made the most of it. Jaquez led all scorers in that one game with 22 points, including 3 3-pointers and one of the best poster dunks of the entire summer.
On the baseline, here's Castleton, turns it over, Heat on the run. 3-on-3, Jaquez!
On that Summer League court, for the first time being surrounded by NBA-level talent, Jaime looked out of place, but in a good way. In his lone performance in the Summer League, whether he was on the ball or off of it, he looked comfortable and smooth with a controlled pace. I mean, that should be expected from a guy who's played 4 years at UCLA, but it was plenty encouraging for Miami to see Jaquez play with such poise and control in an environment that rarely allows for that. That game right there proved to be the precursor to Jaime's success in the league so far. As a rookie in the NBA, Jaquez Jr. has been impressive, averaging 13.1 points, 3.7 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and a steal per game. His performance actually won him Rookie of the Month for October and November. His work ethic has been so apparent within his success that even Jimmy Butler had something to say about it.
And maybe it's not a direct comparison, but when you watch Jaime at the beginning of the fourth do some of those things, does he start to remind you just a little bit of some of the things that you do?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's good to see, and it's cool because like he's super young. So he's, I picked that type of stuff up whenever I was, 28, 29. So he has so much room to get better, and he's so confident, always working on his game, and he wants to make the right play every time. So it's not like he's a rookie. He knows what it takes to win. He's done it in college, and I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for his success. I want him to continue to grow and continue to help us win.
Jaquez is just the 6th player with Mexican citizenship to reach the association. And as the highest selected Mexican American of all time, he is already exceeding every metric. Since 2003, only Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade, who they just put up a statue for, has more points, rebounds, and assists than Jaquez to start off a career in Miami. Rarer for a rookie, Jaquez currently ranks in the NBA's top 5 for most fourth quarter minutes played. Proof that he's won the respect of Coach Eric Spoelstra this early. The way Jaime takes the court, he's able to find his shot no matter the defender, no matter the situation. He plays with such fluid and grace. It's like he's been in the league for decades. And the reason for all this, all the success, all the accolades, it wasn't just given. Jaime is a story of perseverance. Like his grandfather building that hoop and using it to make a new life for him and his family, Jaime has taken advantage of every opportunity and outworked every single person in his way to become a better player. That's why he will have a long career for years to come. This is All Hail Colin, and Jaime is only just getting started. So make sure you hit subscribe to stay updated on his journey and all things NBA. We'll be posting weekly videos here every single week, so make sure you stick around for more All Hail B-Ball certified stories. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.